welcome to our channel. Here we provide you with wonderful movie recaps and previews with sweetable plots and twists in addition with movie breakdowns or Easter eggs. Glad you are here. Enjoy. The movie opens with Cobb by the sea waters, while little children play nearby. When he wakes up, he's dragged to Mr. C.E.O by a guard after seeing a syringe object also known as a totem serves as a souvenir to C.E.O, who mentions remembering the owner's radical notion in his eyes. The movie then takes us back before the incident, where Cobb, Arthur, and others are mind extractors, thieves who steal people's secrets and ideas by channeling them in projected dreams. During the process, they enter the subconscious minds of their targets, using two-level dream within a dream strategies to extract valuable information. Each of the extractors carries a totem, a personalized small object whose behavior is unpredictable to anyone except to the totem's owner, to determine if they are within another person's dream. Cobb's totem is a spinning top which spins perpetually in the dream state. Today, they are sent to rob Mr. C.E.O's idea. Cobb tries to convince C.E.O to let him in and read his mind, but C.E.O takes their proposal as a joke and leaves the room, promising to think about it. Cobb plans to extract the idea as C.E.O revealed its location during the conversation. In a surprising turn, they are revealed to be asleep in a deep dream, with a caretaker named Nash monitoring their bodies. While Cobb and Arthur discuss a conscious virus, it appears in the form of Cobb's wife. Cobb asks Arthur to leave, and Mal threatens him. She shoots Arthur in the legs, causing pain in both dream and reality. Cobb rushes to get his gun and kills Arthur, waking him up from the dream. Inside the dream, Cobb and C.E.O's mind projections fight for the stolen idea. Cobb reads C.E.O's idea and finds it incomplete. Outside the dream, Arthur and Nash struggle to wake Cobb up due to the collapsing dream. They decide to add more time for C.E.O inside the dream. Inside the dream, everything collapses due to C.E.O's subconscious awareness, leading to C.E.O's death. They try to wake Cobb up by causing a disturbance in the dream. C.E.O is arrested by the trio and placed in a private room. Cobb reveals the room's significance to C.E.O, who admits he was testing them and considers them failed. It is then revealed they are still in a dream, and C.E.O isn't aware. Cobb insists on C.E.O revealing the remaining piece of the idea. Inside the train, a kick-out signal alerts Cobb and Arthur to the dream's artificiality. They realize they are still in a dream and decide to leave C.E.O behind. Blaming their architect for the mistake, they go their separate ways. Later, C.E.O wakes up and smiles. At night, Cobb contemplates his failures while holding a gun and calls his children, who ask for their mom. He hangs up, and Arthur arrives, and they plan to live separately. Outside, they discover Nash arrested by C.E.O. C.E.O reveals Nash's betrayal and asks for their cooperation in an Inception mission. Arthur insists Inception is impossible, but Cobb sees it as a gamble. C.E.O wants them to implant an idea in a competitor's son's mind. Cobb accepts after C.E.O promises to let them go after the mission. Cobb visits his father for assistance in finding an architect, revealing his training in dream manipulation. His father directs him to one of his students who will assist him. Cobb tests Ariadne by having her draw a maze or trap that takes 3 minutes to solve. After she successfully draws what he wants, she qualifies as an architect for deep dreams. The purpose of this test is to find an architect who can create intricate dreamscapes for the subjects from whom information is to be extracted. Cobb continues to teach Ariadne about dreams, putting her inside one and asking her to explain how she got there. When she panics and the dream collapses, Cobb explains how the dream world can affect the real world. Cobb then loops them back into the dream and teaches Ariadne their usual tricks for constructing buildings and settings within dreams. Ariadne constructs impressive buildings within her dream, pleasing Cobb. However, inside the dream, Cobb's subconscious detects Ariadne's presence and becomes defensive. When she constructs a pathway from her memories, a violation of dream creation rules, Cobb's projection attacks her. Mal appears and kicks Ariadne out of the dream. Once they are out of the dream, Ariadne believes Cobb's subconscious is militaristic. Arthur suggests she get a totem, an object that will help her determine if she is in a dream. Ariadne leaves, and Cobb plans to recruit Eames, a forger. He finds Eames in a club in Mombasa and discusses the Inception job with him. Eames agrees to help and connects Cobb with his best chemist to obtain sedatives for the dream. Since Cobb failed to complete a mission for a corporate client, hired killers are after him. He decides to run for his life and promises to meet Eames later. Cobb is rescued by C.E.O, who has been following him. They go to Eames' chemist, who uses sedatives to induce dreams that feel like reality. When Cobb doubts the sedatives, the chemist tests one on him, leading Cobb to encounter Mal again. Back at the base, Ariadne returns and discusses Mal with Arthur. Mal is revealed to be Cobb's ex-wife, and her presence hinders Cobb's ability to build dreams. In the morning, C.E.O. gives Cobb and Eames images of the subjects for the Inception job. Eames suggests they meet Peter Browning, the second-in-command for Mr. Fisher, and C.E.O. arranges it. Eames concludes that Fisher Jr.'s relationship with his father is poor and plans to impersonate Fisher Sr. in the first dream. This will convince Fisher Jr. that his father never wanted him to succeed, leading to further inception in subsequent dreams. Ariadne wants to show Cobb her planned puzzle or maze, but he refuses, fearing Mal's interference. Instead, he instructs her to share it with others. Ariadne decides on a chess piece as her totem. Now, the team needs an ideal inception to use on Fisher Jr. Cobb suggests that the subconscious is motivated by emotion, so they need a positive emotion for the inception. Eames suggests the emotion of Robert Fisher wanting his son to start his own empire, which Cobb agrees could work. The team will undergo 3 dream phases, with each phase lasting progressively longer. They need a powerful chemical to keep them stable, so the chemist enhances the sedative to freeze the body, leaving only the ears sensitive for kicks from dreams. At night, Ariadne enters Cobb's dream, realizing it's not just a dream but his memories. She meets Cobb and Mal, witnessing his memories of his children. In an elevator, Cobb prohibits Ariadne from pressing a certain button. They encounter Mal, who tries to kill Ariadne, but Cobb rescues her and locks Mal's projection inside. They return to reality. Robert Fisher has died, and it's time for the group to use the plane. On the plane, everyone works for C.E.O. except Fisher Jr. Before they start, Cobb warns C.E.O. to fulfill his promise. Cobb drugs Fisher Jr.'s drink, causing him to fall unconscious. The team organizes the inception process in Ariadne's designed dreams, facing challenges such as armed gangs attacking them. Cobb and Ariadne encounter a train inside the dream, where Cobb helps the others escape the gangs. A fight between Cobb and Arthur occurs, but they reconcile to complete the mission safely. They try to interrogate Fisher Jr., but when he fails to reveal the safe, Eames decides to shapeshift as Peter Browning to extract the information. However, Fisher Jr. knows nothing. In the first phase of the dream, C.E.O. is injured, and if he dies, he will go to the limbo, where he will age rapidly. Meanwhile, Eames tries to extract information from Fisher Jr., but he claims to know nothing. Ariadne confronts Cobb about projecting a train in the dream, prompting him to finally reveal what went wrong with Mal. Cobb explains that he and Mal built their desires in the dream world, which Mal began to perceive as reality. When they returned to the real world, Mal couldn't distinguish between reality and the dream, leading to tragic consequences. Cobb was accused of domestic violence, and despite his attempts to convince others of Mal's insanity, no one believed him. This forced Cobb to flee America for his life. After Cobb shares his story with Ariadne, they realize Fisher's projections are closing in on their hideout. Masked Cobb forces Fisher to confess secret numbers, convincing Fisher they are crucial. The group drugs Fisher again and escapes in a van. Cobb, Arthur, Eames, and C.E.O. enter the second dream phase, with Yusuf remaining as the caretaker. Cobb disguises himself as Charles to protect Fisher from mind extractors and tarnish Mr. Browning's image in Fisher's subconscious. In the second dream phase, Cobb gains Fisher's trust and makes him believe he can take him out of the dream. Cobb paints Browning as the villain, leading Fisher to blame Browning's projection. Cobb convinces Fisher to confront Browning's subconscious, causing Fisher to fight against his own conscious. As the group progresses to the third dream phase, Yusuf is chased by Fisher's projections in the first dream, causing disruptions in the second dream's gravity. In the third dream, Eames's dream, they face resistance from Fisher's projections on an icy landscape. In the second dream, Arthur fights Fisher's projections and prepares the kickout for the group. Yusuf alerts Arthur with a music kickout, but the crew in the third dream struggles to respond. Arthur ties the bodies together with a rope, intending to pull them out of the dream. As the time for the kickout approaches, Yusuf initiates a second kickout by causing a car crash. Arthur and the crew are not fully prepared, but they attempt to respond to the kickout. In Dream 3, Eames redirects projections to buy time for Fisher to explore his mind and find the safe. When Cobb realizes they have little time, he asks Ariadne to tell him the maze for the dream. With this information, they progress forward. Yusuf reaches the endpoint in Dream 1 and decides to let the car fall off the bridge into the water, acting as a final kick for the crew in Dream 2. The loss of gravity in Dream 2 allows Arthur to pull all the bodies in an elevator more easily. As the crew has more time in Dream 2 and Dream 3, Fisher is about to unlock what he believes to be a secret when Mal appears and kills him. Cobb had received information about the maze, allowing Mal from his memories to interrupt. C.E.O. also dies from his injuries sustained in Dream 1. With the mission failed, Cobb suggests kicking out to Dream 2, but Ariadne proposes that Cobb can rescue Fisher from limbo. Cobb and Ariadne are looped into an unprepared Phase 4 called Limbo, with Eames acting as the body caretaker. In Limbo, Ariadne sees what Cobb and Mal had constructed. Cobb explains that these were initially dreams, but they eventually inserted them into their memories. They arrive at a glass apartment where Mal's projection resides, still believing the dream is reality. Cobb communicates with Mal's projection, explaining that he used Inception on her because she was obsessed with the dream world. When Mal returned to reality and failed to acknowledge it, she decided to end her life, believing it would take her to her reality. Cobb asks Mal's projection to release Fisher, agreeing to stay in exchange. Ariadne urges Cobb not to stay, but he believes he has a way out. In Dream 1, the car is nearly submerged in water, serving as the final kick for Dream 2. Arthur in Dream 2 sets the elevator as the final kick for Dream 3, while Eames in Dream 3 sets explosives as a kick-out for Dream 4. When Kick 1 occurs, it alerts Arthur in Dream 2 and releases the elevator. In Dream 4, Cobb and Ariadne sense this and Cobb instructs Ariadne to leave with Fisher from Limbo while he goes to rescue C.E.O. Ariadne and Fisher respond to the first kick, fixing the Inception in Fisher's subconscious. They then experience the second and third kicks. As Eames and the Incepted Fisher awaken in Dream 1, Ariadne and Arthur also wake up. However, Cobb remains in limbo. Ariadne is confident that Cobb will make it out, but Arthur is worried about him. The movie revisits the opening scenes as Dom Cobb is brought before an older C.E.O., who remembers Cobb by the totem spin. Cobb explains that he's there to bring C.E.O. back to reality to fulfill his promise. C.E.O. holds a gun, and the next scene shows Cobb back on the plane with the rest of the group, including Fisher, unaware of what transpired. C.E.O. makes a phone call, ensuring Cobb's safe landing in America without being arrested. Cobb even gets his passport stamped. He reunites with his family, but when Cobb spins his totem, it continues to move, revealing that Dom Cobb is still trapped in a dream. Unfortunately, he pays little attention to this, as his focus is on his kids.